复归中央人民政府今天胜利了。
但是你们能不能？
刚才也问我，我可以回半点去，无可奉告。我也不高兴。
哎，什么叫中国共产党啊？党叫干啥就干啥。
黑夜即将到，一定要做好准备。
是。
干死共产党！不干死共产党，绝不罢休！
消灭中共是正义的需要。
Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Exposing the CCP. Happy New Year. Good to see you again, Chris and Mr. True and our dear audiences. And we're looking forward to a year of taking down the CCP in 2026. Hi, Chris. Hi, Mr. True. Can you say hi to audiences?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, it's nice to meet you all again. And I'm happy to be on the show again today. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. Let's take down the CCP. Thank you.
Yes, that'll be great. Yeah, okay, we're going to start some encouraging news this year. I mean, it was a very surprising strike that President Trump had the operation over the last weekend, a very quick operation and quite successful, honestly. And it's very shocking to all these dictators around the world. That is, Maduro was arrested, and I think he's being prosecuted right now in the United States, and we're looking forward to more good results from that. But most importantly is we're going to discuss, what do you think the CCP will react? What's will she, or eventually will she be the next Maduro? Will the CCP regime collapse within one night, just like what happens in Venezuela? Okay, so we're gonna start watching some videos again from Miles Guo. The Miles has a lot of intelligence. He has been long suggesting, the threat of the CCP present in the Middle America, South America, and Caribbean area, eventually around the world, and their threat. So let's see what he said, and we'll be right back and for more discussions.
当年有个高人啊，我到台湾去，跟这个高人呐短暂一面啊，几句话说后，我对这个高人是刮目相看的。其中就是非常清楚，说台湾和共产党之间在20年后只能有一个存在。为什么一说我觉得这人靠谱据他所说的20年到2026年正好是20年，我深信不疑。
Oh, that was a very brief video. Okay, let's go back for more discussions. And maybe it wasn't cut right or something. I should have double checked. My bad. Miles actually predicted the arrest of Maduro back in 2021, which is 4 years ago. And the reason is Maduro has been colluding with the CCP for a long time. Regarding its dictator regimes, how the censorship technologies, how to threaten the U.S., and also the reliability on the Venezuela's oil supplies, and eventually the national defense or dictators' national safety level. And eventually, now, fortunately, we see a good change that Maduro is arrested, and hopefully they will go into democracy or liberation very soon. And he also pointed out what happened will be in Taiwan, and eventually the CCP will be taken down. And we would like to see like a very peaceful, safe, like a very quick downfall of the CCP, just like Venezuela. And now let's give the time to Chris. I know you have a lot of things to share with us today. So Chris, please take your time.
Okay, thank you. So from Mr. Miles Guo's video, he mentioned Taiwan and also the year 2026. And we know that the third gate of take down the CCP is when CCP attacks Taiwan. So I think 2026 looks like it's going to be a very exciting years for taking down the CCP. So recently we see not just Venezuela, but also Iran and Gaza, plus the lawsuit for CCP virus accountability compensations, and the 2026 U.S. National Defense Authorization Act. At the start of this year, President Trump directly arrested Venezuela's dictator Maduro. Venezuelan people took to the street to celebrate, and they chant, "Thank you, Trump." Venezuela's pro-CCP regime has long cooperated with the CCP. The CCP is their big brother behind the scenes. The CCP has long used debt to control Venezuela, making Venezuela ship oil to CCP China for blood transfusion to evade US sanctions. And relying on Venezuela, Mexico, Colombia, Brazil, and Canada to manufacture and transship and sell fentanyl to North America, harming the United States and also harming Canada. Maduro became president back then by stealing the election, just like Biden did. He has data on Dominion and Smartmatic voting machine for election theft. Now the United States has witnessed who can prove that the CCP manipulate the election. The Venezuelan vice president has already requested the United States to set up a U.S. embassy in Venezuela. The completion of the U.S. embassy setup also means that the U.S. officials' intelligence network has officially entered Venezuela. The Maduro regime is the CCP's proxy. Striking Maduro is also striking the CCP hiding behind, which is also means striking Xi Jinping. Next is Iran. Mr. Miles Guo has revealed that the real Khamenei died long ago. Iran, due to the people's uprising and resistance, the Khamenei dictatorship is teetering on the brink. Khamenei may flee to Russia or China to seek asylum. This proves that these dictatorial regimes are actually paper tigers. President Trump's action in 2025 gave the Iranian people great confidence, bombing Iran's nuclear facilities so that Iran has no nuclear weapons to threaten the world. Reza Pahlavi also announced that if the Khamenei regime collapses, he can quickly take over and organize a transitional government, allowing Iran's situation to transit smoothly, without letting the situation getting out of control. Iran is also an oil supplier to the CCP. The latest news is that Iran's oil hub, Abadan, has been occupied by protesters. These will also affect the CCP's oil source, seriously impacting the CCP's aircraft and warship. These military equipment all require fuel. In this way, the CCP can only rely more on balloons to pose threats. And the most important is the advancement of the virus origin lawsuit. Missouri's virus compensation lawsuit against the CCP. The CCP refused to participate in the litigation process, leading to the federal court issuing a default judgment in March 2025. Awarding Missouri approximately $24 billion in compensation, including punitive damages. So, in conjunction with the 2026 U.S. National Defense Authorization Act, inventorying CCP's assets will help the process of the lawsuit's compensation. When this precedent succeed, each state can file the same compensation and lawsuit against the CCP. So I believe 2026 will be a wonderful year for taking down the CCP. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris, for your explanation, the background. I think this is so critical, and you mentioned very important things. There are so many aspects that the Venezuela has been colluding with the Chinese Communist Party, including the elections, all the fraud, and also there are many other things. For example, the drug issues, right? We know the U.S. has been long suffering from the fentanyl crisis, and hundreds of millions of people died every year, and including a lot of young people died every year because of the drug. And Venezuela has been a big source of the import as an intermediate import place for the fentanyl in the U.S. And there are also many other illegal operations, by the Chinese Communist Party in there. So this is a great start, and hopefully we're going to see more truth. And during the indictment, we're going to be exposed, like the whole evil plan of the CCP, as confirmed again by Miles Guo a long time ago. So now we go to Mr. Truth. Mr. Truth, could you share your opinion on this exciting and great news? I'm sorry, you're on mute, Mr. True.
Okay, all good now. Thank you, Z. Thank you, Chris, for your detailed information about the situation around the U.S. and the Venezuela's situation. So it's good to see that what just have happened over the last few days, and so I think must be so important. We remember that it was about 4 or 5 months ago that the U.S. military has deployed to surrounding Venezuela and in the region, trying to sort of taking down those those ships which are doing number one, doing oil, oil into CCP, into Cuba, and also into few other countries surrounding that area. But most importantly, the ships were later on find out the large ships, also very expensive luxury ships. They were actually doing trafficking of drugs of fentanyl into United States, okay, and killing 100,000 of U.S. citizens every year. And that's something that the President Trump announced that the fentanyl is a massive mass destruction of human life drug, i.e. that it's actually committed genocide into U.S. citizens. So those accusations are very serious, and anti-humanity crimes, which will be good, qualified to actually get the Nuremberg trial, and the necks gotta be hung up on the ropes. So given that situation, what we're seeing is why Mr. President have gathered these great exercises of U.S. mighty military forces and captured Maduro. Wow, under all the top military intelligence of Russia and Xi Jinping together, they didn't even see that it's happening, and so on. So, but I reviewed quite a few resources. It said, the U.S. intelligence, of course, including CIA, and have been heavily worked very heavily to try to build up the intelligence surrounding networks where they can instant reporting what exactly where Maduro is doing in everyday routine, and back to seconds. So given that situation, I think why it must be so important. Okay, 120 or 150 aircraft fly into the zone, and just to catch Maduro. It must be so significant. So I've been thinking about a lot. Why it's so important? We know this will be number one threatened. We're taken as example to show how efficient the military is in the United States. If between China and the Taiwan war, if there's Xi Jinping trying to take over Taiwan, and you can see what could happen. Okay. So and that's, we also found that over the last couple of days, actually the CCP, the military exercises are stopped. They're not showing around anymore. So they must be very scared. If they're going to keep doing that, then they might get shot down, actually, without a question. So that's one. And the other thing is, let me thinking that why we have to have a trial in the Southern District of New York, and the federal court judges have to make rulings to what kind of, there's about 10 accusations that he might have, committed. So once this is proven, this might have so many links. We know that without those U.S. sellouts, they cannot do the operation for over last 10, 15 years from the first dictator. Maduro is the second one. So it must have so much secret information through accuse the operation, the dominant machine, to interfere and to actually changing all the data and make a fraud presentation on what exactly the voting results is through 2019, 2020, and even 2024. So those are very much a huge crime against the United States politics. So we know the midterm election is coming. I think in terms of the statistics, the power between both parties, I have to make a statement that they were not interested in really the bipartisan politics. We're only interested to see why Maduro is so important to be captured. So another thing we can see is in order to straighten out, to make American really great again, I think it is probably necessary to get the election results. So and the issue behind it, and so it doesn't happen again in the next one. So people actually get proper chances to vote, and the vote statistics are are truly represented to the population, and so otherwise what happens is it's the manipulation of that results will severely damage the validity of the society, United States as a land for all the country to looking up onto. So I think apart from that, the setup example to deter the CCP's egoless or dareless to even attacking Taiwan and interrupt the supply chain of the semiconductors. Okay, which is very important for the future of humanity and the technological advancement, and also comparative advantages against the other dictatorship countries. But the second, most importantly, that in order to do that, if without to preserve the integrity of the voting system, I think then this might be a backfire to allow to severely weaken Americans' leadership into the world. I think that's what I'm trying to get out. So it is so important to capture Maduro, not only for the oil supply. I mean, as President Trump said, we don't need oil because we got plenty of oil ourselves. Okay, we can supply the oil. But I think there'll be something that I think we're going to see from the 17th of March. This year, when the second time the court opens, I mean, a lot of probably surprising information will come out how exactly, under whose instruction, and those voting system has been worked together by Maduro's under his leadership as the president of Venezuela, and how does that interference happen? Exactly the operation and the civility and the measurement as well. So from which then we will have a much clean and a much reliable, much trustworthy United States and the leadership. I think that itself will deter more of Xi Jinping and Putin and Jin Yongchen. So then we have a much better world. Sorry to take that long. So that's what I like to spell out what my observation is. Thank you. Back to you, Z.
Exactly what's happening, and hopefully what will happen in the future. And there's so many evidences. I'm personally kind of worried about the sellout in the United States. The evidence is there. The Maduro has himself, and he probably has a lot of secret credentials as well. Regarding the evidence of the CCP's infiltration, their all plans. How they influence the U.S. elections or political influences. All these kind of stuff. The evidence should be clear. The question is, hopefully, we're gonna see that in the court hearings and open informations. And I'm kind of also concerned, if Maduro will be the next Epstein, will be murdered or killed, silenced by the CCP, and that's something we'll see in the future. But it's a good sign. And also, as both Mr. Chu and Chris said, the rest of the world is also concerned or worried. The dictators like Iran, like Russia, like many other places, Cuba, many other dictators, they're very worried too. I'm not sure. Maybe Xi cannot sleep very well either recently, and we'll see what's going on. So we still got a few more minutes, and I think as also Miles mentioned, the future of Taiwan will be free, and also the demise of the CCP is also accounted. And maybe we can spend a few more minutes from each of you talking about the future of the CCP and Taiwan. Maybe let's start from Chris.
So what would recently we see that CCP's brand fall down one by one, like the leaders in Syria, and recently is the Maduro, and we are all hoping next one is Khamenei. So I think when CCP lose their airlines internationally, that gives a strong confidence to the people in Taiwan. And also that right now it's President Trump's turn to run the United States, which is right now the greatest country in the world. So even if Xi Jinping attacks Taiwan, for the people in Taiwan now, people are not afraid of the CCP attacking. And also people in Taiwan will counter CCP's attack. On the other hand, for Xi Jinping has to face military mutiny and coup d'etat from CCP itself, also civil unrest due to the downturn of the economic, as well as the pressure from President Trump's step-by-step encroachment. And also the pressure from countries around the world demanding reform from the CCP. So 2026 will be a painful year for the CCP regime, and I have confidence that CCP will be taken down. Thank you.
Chris, me too. I think definitely the year it's a very important year. We're going to see a lot of good news, and this Maduro is just the start, just the beginning. And now to you, Mr. Truth.
Yeah, I think with Trump's administration leadership, so the art of deal making is working very well. It is. I mean, the whole game is about the winning. I think the geopolitical situation is so complex. I think now once what is most important is how much the Maduro will know about the voting secret, the Dominion machine, and that will be the most invaluable information for the Trump administration and for the American people. They want to know what exactly happened. So otherwise, there's always propaganda and so on. I think the data will not lie, and these court proceedings will dig out the whole so-called deep states, which are trying to control the United States government, and also that even the money, all the U.S. aid and all the corruption money as well, with the Somalis and that. I think people need to know, because taxpayers, their money, they need to know. Okay, so I think that will be really sort out a lot of mud in the United States itself. It just makes everything much clearer, which I think it is so important in order for US to lead the world and then take down the CCP, and also what Xi Jinping exactly did. What's the deal? It might be trying to turn, as Xi Jinping always wanted, they want to control Americans and kill Americans, and also trying to become the world #1 hegemony. You can't imagine once the CCP controlled the whole power and they override the Americans' authority and leadership, and I think the world would turn into dark immediately. Believe it or not, just look at China, what happened, all the business, economics, and then how people are suffering, the unemployment rate, and also the organ harvesting, that's going really insane. So there's no respect of life, and CCP can do whatever they wanted to do. Okay, once they get into control, the world got to be waking up. And thanks, Miles Gore, and we know that 2026, according to 20 years ago, Miles Gore visited a highly perceptive man in Taiwan, and he told him that, and Miles Gore really said this gathering was very special. I think we can see that happening 2026 this year. I think CCP will be gone. I don't think the world can really see CCP still on the stage once they have already, showed who they are. So let's wait and take down CCP. Back to you, Z.
Great. Let's take this great news and continue fight, continue to spread more truth about the CCP, and we're going to see everyone in next week. So at the same time, again, Happy New Year, and wish everyone have a healthy and a prosperous new year. And it will be a very important year. Please stay tuned. We'll definitely work with everyone who hates CCP. We'll take them down eventually. Thank you, Mr. Shu. Thank you, Chris. And thank you also, Flower. And we'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Take down the CCP.
Take down
Take down
CCP.
CCP.
The night has come this far, not because it chose to leave, but because it was never meant to stand. Darkness may appear powerful, yet it exists only where light has not arrived. And when the first ray of dawn emerges, its retreat becomes inevitable. This is not coincidence, not fortune, but direction itself, finally revealed. Justice never disappears. It moves forward step by step, gathering strength in silence, finding its footing in the final seconds before dawn. Today, what we welcome is not a miracle, but a morning that was always destined to arrive. In the new year, the dawn is already ahead of us.